I'm Jake Trussell. I'm a DJ and producer here in Somerville, Massachusetts. I go by the name DJ C.
I'm Beth Coleman, aka M. Singe, or DJ Singe. I'm a professor at MIT, and I play my music in New York, Cambridge, and international.
My name's Paul Miller, aka DJ Spooky, that Subliminal Kid. I'm an artist, writer, and musician based in New York.
My name is DJ Flack. My real name is Anthony Flackett, but I live in Jamaica Plain, Massachusetts.
A DJ is somebody who is mixing things together.
You're kind of a hunter-gatherer. You're looking at collecting material, collecting sounds, collecting images, and when you've hunted them down, gathered them, it's not just about a passive relationship where you're sitting there pressing play. The whole idea is to make things change and transform. You're transforming a found object, meaning a found sound, a found record, a found file.
The art of DJing, for me, is finding these combinations of two or more pieces of music and fitting them together to create a third new thing.
Taking things out of context and flipping them around and making it, and kind of surprising people. You take like this type of music and this type of music, and somehow they just magically will fit together.
When you scratch, when you edit, when you bounce tracks into different kinds of tempos and stuff like that, it's essentially about kinds of appropriation, but also updating things. It's not necessarily about a passive consumer situation.
Basically, it's like bringing music, presenting music with technology. Traditionally, the vinyl on turntables, but that's changing. And sometimes when I perform using my laptop, I feel weird using the name DJ, so I think instead of disc jockey, meaning like vinyl disc, I kind of think hard disc. I didn't really get into hip-hop really until Public Enemy's Nation of Millions came out. I just was so inspired, and in some ways it's some of that kind of crazy mashup of sounds and sirens and harsh noises. There was still like a punk element in it to me. I just got so into it that eventually I wanted to just start making my own beats and not just appreciate it as an outsider.
I started as a bedroom musician back in the 80s, like playing music in my, in my house and recording it on a 4-track. Being a fan of hip-hop and reggae in the 80s, and then also finding out about rave culture in the early 90s when it was really taking off in England. I kind of read some articles about it and realized that this whole concept of a DJ as a sort of guide for a crowd in a different way than a band could be just kind of interested me. I started dabbling with it in a kind of hip-hop and sampling sense in my music when I was doing 4-track recordings, sort of even before I was trying to do kind of the standard 2 turntables and a mixer type of DJing. I just had 1 turntable and I would mix in samples of like pieces of Ravi Shankar's sitar records into these like rock tracks that I was making or whatever, And then it wasn't until a few years later when I finally got a 2nd turntable that I started trying to very badly mixed together, hip-hop with ambient music and dub and all these different things.
There's a different kind of covert feeling to it, like a secret society. So to have not a nickname, but a real name, like a true name. Maybe you'd say there's an equivalent in game culture where your player name is meaningful. People know you in your community by that name, and it's also a kind of mask.
Creating the image, the name, the kind of web presence, or like a continuing to put out product and keeping it in the market. Is really important.
The people make nicknames because it's a different kind of identity that they're dealing with. And the way that that happens is essentially you have a kind of improvisation going on with identity. And the found name that you kind of are born with, the found name that you grow up around, I think it becomes like, hey, you know, this name doesn't mean as much in certain contexts and other nicknames might mean more.